You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Welcome to the big show, my family and friends. We certainly appreciate you guys coming on and being here and part of the show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is the family that loves you but doesn't judge you, at least not as harshly as some of your family members. That's why we make the best family, is because we're kind of non-judgy that way, eh? We love everybody and anyone, as long as they're not purveyors of hate and destruction and evil. We love you. So don't be that guy. That one in the back. The one, that dude in the back there, we may have to have security escort out, but the rest of you are certainly welcome to stay. Anyway, guys, we have an amazing guest as always on the show, so we appreciate you guys coming in, tuning in, and supporting our guests. What we do need you to do, we ask a very simple sort of buy-in for our multi-level marketing cult that we've created here at the Chris Voss Show. We just need to refer your family, shows, and relatives to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, the big LinkedIn newsletter, the 103,000 LinkedIn group, Chris Voss 1 on the Tickety Talkety, and ChrisVossFacebook.com. That's all. I mean, wasn't that painless? That was like easy, right? Yeah, sure. Just do it. Do it now. Anyway, guys, we have an amazing young lady on the show. We're going to be talking about her work and everything that she's done. Katherine Friedman joins us on the show. She's a real estate and travel entrepreneur, and she's built companies, and she's going to tell us about her journey, what she's gone through, and some of the wonderful things she does. Katherine, or short for Kat, worked for Marriott Hotels for nearly 10 years and left in 2019 to become a realtor in New York City, along with starting a travel business. Her entrepreneurial spirit allows her to combine real estate and hospitality under one brand while remaining at the forefront of innovative technologies to help her community grow and market their businesses. In 2019, Habitats by Kat was born, which was a travel agency laying the groundwork for what Kat calls the modern day travel agent. Did I just say Kat calls? While also selling real estate under the "you're really hot, babe." That's what construction workers do. While also selling real estate under the same brand. I don't know why I had to explain that joke, but it sounded funny in my head at the time. Shortly after Kat launched her business, she was fortunate enough to have Sam Hayer, her twin sister, team up with her to grow the company and probably confuse most of her clients. Which one are you, the twin? No. In short, Kat and Sam believe that travel influencers, bloggers, and content creators are the future travel agent, in addition to entrepreneurs such as real estate agents. People want multiple revenue streams, and travel is a service and benefit that many entrepreneurs and small business owners can earn passive income through while growing their brand and bottom line. Outside of Kat's leadership responsibility, she handles real estate deals, primarily representing investors looking for guidance in buying, selling, and managing rental vacancies. She also supports select clients looking to buy and sell for primary residence in New York City, and is an expert in explaining the process from start to finish while providing 5-star service with her strong hospitality background. Welcome to the show, Kat. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for the warm welcome.
Thanks for coming. We certainly appreciate it. Now, which is this? Are you sure that we're talking to Kat? We could be talking to Sam, your twin.
Yeah, so this is Kat. Sam and I are actually fraternal twins, so we're hard to mix up. Luckily.
Oh, really? Oh, so you got that going on. That's always good. I always was kind of jealous of twins. It seems like it's cool if you can make two of you, but I think legally, they have laws against there being two of me. So I can understand why. I get one of the stack of ankle bracelets off next week. Anyway, so welcome to the show. Give us your .com so people can find you on the interwebs.
Yeah, so my website is habitatsbykat.co. My Instagram is kat.m.friedman. And my travel agency side is just Habitats by Kat on any social handle.
There you go. You're multifaceted. You're doing a number of things. We'll get into how you juggle that and keep your sanity. I mean, I'm assuming you have your sanity. You seem very sane at this point, but that's the wonderful nature of being an entrepreneur. Is well, you're just usually insane after a while. I feel that being one. So tell us about your travel site. Give us, in your words, 30,000 overview of what you do and how you do it.
Yeah, so I operate what we call a host agency. I onboard 1099 independent contractors, but I give them a full service platform. So, trainings, access to global suppliers, which is hotels, resorts, cruises, vacation properties, tour operators, and really any travel experience you can book as a general consumer. But I give access to all of them as a travel professional so they can build a side hustle, a revenue stream if they're already entrepreneurs, to obviously monetize and earn money, planning trips for others, planning trips for themselves, and start making money off of monetizing what they love, which is travel.
There you go. And a lot of people do this. Travel is a big thing. I've got one friend who does it at the very high end for people who like spending a lot of money on special travel packages. And people kind of like that because they can get the whole package, right? They can get like the whole inclusive, like the flights and, everything's kind of packaged up where you don't have to sit there and figure it all out, all the math and which flight you got to take and car you got to drive and, how to
Yeah,
get to this hotel and stuff.
100% outsourcing it's the way to go. And what's really popular right now is when a travel leader or an enthusiast wants to host a group trip and invite a small group of people to join them. That way it's not just a package. They're adding on a different layer of experience by having it be a small group setting, which is I'm actually hosting a trip to Morocco at the end of this month.
There you go. Morocco. That's got to be a fun place to go.
Yeah, and I'm excited. We're going off season. I'm an off season style traveler. I don't like being there when everybody wants to go there, so I'm very excited.
There you go. So tell us a little bit about your journey. Did you grow up with parents who were entrepreneurial inclined? What made you first get the entrepreneurial bug?
Yeah, so my parents owned a sales and marketing company in the houseware industry for many years. It still exists today, so I'm sure that was a huge part of how I ended up being an entrepreneur. Working at Marriott for almost 10 years, I always took on the difficult sales roles, very business development driven. And as I did that for a long period of time, I just really had this itch. I don't know what it was, but I really started to, really be motivated to build my own business and to go off on my own.
So you had kind of an imprint there, a genealogy or a DNA from your parents, maybe.
Yes, and I'm a lot like both my mom and dad. I have both of their characteristics in one. So I definitely get a lot of who I am from them. And I watched them growing a business while they were raising me. So I was surrounded by that. So it certainly impacted my life.
There you go. I mean, some people have that same sort of influence and just hope they're adopted, but like me, where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm like these people at all. Maybe I'm adopted. So, but it was good that you had that sort of DNA and influence. A lot of people don't grow up with that journey where they grow up in an entrepreneur life. When I started my first company, I didn't even really know I was an entrepreneur. I thought I was just trying to make a buck and survive.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think I ever really was like, I am an entrepreneur. Nowadays it's, everyone talks about it. It's very common. I think after a few months when I became successful, then I was like, I own a business and I'm still an idiot, because I had to learn a few things. But that's the fun of being a business. You always have to be learning. So you get into real estate first, correct?
Yeah, so I got my real estate license a year before I left Marriott. I was very nervous to leave my salary and everything that I knew at Marriott. So I did real estate as a side hustle from 2018 to 2019.
And so it was you were trepidatious about making the leap into the unknown.
I was living in New York City. I didn't have the best apartment. I was single and I wanted to make sure I could obviously, keep the roof over my head and,
Mhm.
survive, pay all my bills, and also enjoy real estate. So it helped me kind of get my feet wet to make
Hmm.
sure it was the right decision.
There you go. And you stepped into it. And of course, real estate can be a good business or a bad business, depending upon the cyclical nature of times and recessions and things like that. Did you struggle, or did you get in a good time? How'd that work out as you went through it?
Great question. So I started my travel business and got into real estate full time summer of 2019. And then, 6 to 8 months later, I was quarantined in New York City because of COVID-19. And
Oh wow.
unlike other markets that you heard of in real estate, New York City didn't have this massive upswing in activity or home values. So it was a challenging time to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely. How did you survive mentally through that? How did you square it in your brain and get through those times? Because starting a business in these sort of arenas is challenging enough as it is.
Yeah, my first 8 months in as a business owner, I did luckily really well. So I was able to have a little nest egg in terms of savings coming into 2020. But
Hmm.
then as the year just got worse and worse with the quarantines and just the pandemic just being absolutely a nightmare for the world, let alone New York City, I really just stayed focused on building relationships, meeting new people in my business, and trying to find partnerships and
Hmm.
exposing myself to new things in a virtual landscape. That's
Hmm.
really what I tried to stay focused on.
So, would you say that COVID kind of forced you to move to online more than ever?
Yes, and it also forced me to learn about leisure travel sales. It also
Mm.
forced me to really rethink my real estate business and what brokerage I was going to be with
Ah,
because just everything changed, and a lot of what I was doing was very much in person where you're right. I had to really shift my activities to be totally online.
yeah. It made a difference for a lot of companies. I mean, there was so many restaurants. It really affected restaurants and small businesses that were local traffic, walk-in traffic. People coming into the shop or store or restaurant. um Suddenly that was gone, and they had to have a way to get online, communicate with their people. They never built a list of customers they could reach out to and say, hey, we're still open during these hours. Hey, you get delivery, or you can call us. It really caught a lot of people basically with their pants down. And so there's a giant scramble to get online now. As you're doing your real estate journey, where in these years did you start the travel business?
I started the travel business when I left Marriott, so that
So
summer
you
of
did
2019.
So you did both kind of at the same time.
Yes, I did both at the same time, and my vision was to offer different clients in New York City, travel and relocation services. So to
Ah,
remain very corporate,
mhm,
because that was similar. That was my wheelhouse at Marriott. But
mhm.
then COVID definitely made me rethink that strategy. That was my initial idea, though.
So kind of complementary to what you're doing in real estate, where you could maybe mix and match clients and help them, buy and then transition or travel or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and a lot of real estate agents are now tapping into this concierge style service.
Mhm.
Agents have a lot of competition, so a lot of brokers are trying to help agents, scale their business in new ways. And I saw that happening a couple of years ago, so that's what I was tapping into that I still help other entrepreneurs tap into today.
There you go. And of course, with your business model for travel, you can help bloggers, enthusiasts, and consultants make money on the side. So you're helping not only yourself being an entrepreneur, but you're helping build other entrepreneurs, and you're able to, make money and revenue stream off of helping others.
Yeah, exactly. And we really have some great products for anybody who's trying to monetize content online, like
Hmm.
global hotel booking engines where they can earn commissions off of their link, but they're much more competitive commissions when compared to a traditional affiliate model. So
you go.
we've been able to grow, our offering as well.
I like this idea. Maybe I should join up and we can do the Chris Voss Show podcast cruise.
Ooh, I like that idea. The cruise has a nice ring to it. I'm feeling like Virgin Voyages would be into that.
Yeah, and people can just come and I'll just do the podcast on the cruise, which
Yeah.
we'll have to get some good internet for that. I think they have that now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. People can just hang out with me and discover that I smell bad. There you go. He doesn't shower often. But this is great. I like how so biting off two big chunks of apple at the same time and launching, dual sort of businesses. What was that like, and how did you navigate that when I mean you're stacking two really big challenges of going from getting a good wage. Was part of your gamble that maybe one of these things will work if both don't work out?
Yeah. So in my head, I was like, well, if I don't make a lot of money in real estate, at least I'll have my travel license. And that's an industry that I know. Like I
Mhm.
knew hotels for years. So it was kind of like my safety net when I first started.
There you go. And then so you build up the business. Had you brought your sister in at that time?
I somehow convinced my sister to join me towards the end of 2020 to help me grow the business because she saw me doing all of these different things and
Yeah.
we're opposites in a lot of ways. And she was like, well, wait, I can do everything you don't like doing. So,
Ah,
yeah.
that's really smart. People have heard me talk about that on my show. The reason one of my successful business partnerships was not only because it was a close friend that I could trust beyond a shadow of a doubt,
Yeah.
at least for the first 13 years till Yoko Ono shut up. The his Yoko Ono. But I could be the CEO, I could be the leader, I could be the visionary, I could be the creationist person that I am. But I don't do redundancy well. I don't do redundant tasks well.
Yeah.
It's a wonder I can show up for the podcast every day. No, I'm just kidding. I love this. But redundant tasks that are like accounting or just over and over again, data entry, that just makes me turn into a bowl of mush brain wise. And so he could do that really well. But if you asked him to come up with any ideas, you handed him a yellow pad and be like, come up with some ideas, you'd have nothing. I mean, there was nothing there. And so I could be the creative CEO, visionary genius, and he could be the guy who would do the redundant parts of the stuff that I would create. And it was a great team. So I can see how that works really well. And they say that you should do that with your team as an entrepreneur. Try and surround yourself with people that aren't the same as you, but are a complement to the challenges that you have or things you aren't good at.
Yeah, I can relate to that because my sister's very operational.
Mhm.
And so if it wasn't for her, a lot of my ideas or actions I want to put into place would never run the way they do now because I have her as she's like my gut check to make sure that this is actually realistic for us to be moving forward with whatever idea or project we're working on.
Yeah. I mean, I am great at building model. I think most CEOs were great at building models, visions, and ideas. And we can kind of come up with a rudimentary widget and be like, hey, I think this will work, and
Yeah.
we can tinker with it and kind of get it to roll a little bit. But we need somebody to run the widget every day, and that's not our wheelhouse. Otherwise, I don't know, we'd be working for someone else, or we'd be down the line of the tier of management in a corporation. And so, yeah, you've got to focus on your strengths, and that's really important for a lot of entrepreneurs to recognize. Know what your strengths are and know what your strengths are. And a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of trying to wear all the hats, do everything, not delegate. And it sounds like you recognize that you needed to do that delegation, or probably found out that the benefit of it because once again, people just try and do everything. And as an entrepreneur, you try and do everything because you kind of have to do it at the beginning,
Yeah.
but you can't keep doing it in scale.
100%. And I really learned that in 2020, like navigating these two businesses that were basically locked down in Manhattan in 2020 was like a master's degree in itself. I learned so much during that time, even though it was so challenging. And as I got towards the end of that year, I finally started to feel out messaging that worked. Because when I first started, people didn't get it. They were like, real estate and travel, what are you doing?
Mhm.
And I really had to refine my pitch and how they actually come together in many ways. And so when I joined up with my sister, it was the perfect timing because I knew what I needed and I had direction heading into 2021.
There you go. And she probably helps, keeping you grounded, maybe.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, everything. I work for her. she's
There
also
you
she's 20 minutes older than me, so she's the boss 100%.
There you go. I feel that because, sometimes I can get a little too visionary and, out there and, I'm starting a cult and talking about aliens, and my business partner has to go, hey, calm down. Get
Yeah.
back down to earth and reality. And let's, and you're like, okay, you're just barking orders off the ship, and people are going, yeah, he's fully freaking lost it.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, I mean, these are important in all these aspects and keeping you grounded, sane, and not getting too far out there. I mean, I think I can't think of any off the top of my head, but sometimes there's a point where you can just vision too far, and then it becomes weird, and you get off track. And I mean, companies do that. They'll vision too far, and they'll lose their momentum. They'll innovate something that doesn't really need to be innovated or no one cares about. Like you'll see that in the you'll see that in the output where people just can't figure this stuff out, and they fumble the ball, and suddenly they're a leader. Here's one that I can think of: BlackBerry and Nokia, with their phone services. At one point they were both market leaders in phone services, and they thought they had all the things and they were doing all the right innovations, and they weren't doing the innovations that Steve Jobs did when he brought the iPhone to market.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can even watch old video of I forget who the post CEO after Bill Gates was, because I don't care. He pretty much was a failure. But he was mocking the iPhone, going, "This is so over the top and so stupid. This will never work out compared to our Windows phones."
Yeah.
Him and BlackBerry and Nokia, I think, both threw shade at Steve Jobs and what he's doing with the iPhone, and they just whiffed the opportunity completely. And so, yeah, there you go. And and thereby, here we are. The landscape changed immensely.
Yeah, and I think when you get, off the path that you're supposed to be on, it really ruins productivity. Like when I'm helping real estate agents, travel consultants, or, both, the key is staying really consistent with the daily activities you have to do. And people get off track when they don't have instant gratification, but the
Mhm.
consistency and that hustle doing these certain things every single day that you have to do is really what gets you to the next level. But it's really hard for people to keep doing something when you don't see anything in return. And I think that's really what makes entrepreneurship confusing. Like people who know how to do that get what they want in the long term, but someone who's just trying to be an entrepreneur, they don't understand because they haven't done those same activities for long enough to start seeing, things tip in their favor.
Definitely, definitely. So now, you do the real estate thing in New York. Do you only do real estate buying and selling in New York for clients?
I do. So I'm only licensed in New York City. However, I'm involved with eXp Realty, which is a global brokerage. So I
Mhm.
have referral partners across the country, even globally, where I can help, for example, investors looking for an Airbnb style investment. I love helping investors purchase short-term rental properties given my travel experience. So
Mhm.
that access really has also helped me grow my real estate business.
There you go. So people out there that might be hearing the podcast, that are like, hey, I think I'd like to go into travel and maybe work with you in your services to help people get into the business, and or I guess resell some of your packages. How do they onboard with you? How do they get involved with you, and what are some of the ways you help facilitate stuff for them?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, habitatsbycat.co, you can schedule a consultation directly with me. We also have a virtual consultation playlist on our YouTube channel, which is great. I do all of the videos, and you can really get the lay of the land with what we offer.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of onboarding, when you sign up, you immediately get routed to our onboarding modules. So it's all video based, and you get everything that you need to really get started and start selling travel and understanding our platform and what trainings are available.
There you go. That's important, so that you can do that as well. And
Yeah.
so people on board, they get the deal, they can rock and roll, and off they go. This sounds pretty wild, man. And so, do you find it's pretty turnkey for people? It doesn't require too much education, because you guys are kind of helping them cut that corner.
Yeah, so we've come a long way. If you were asking me this in 2020, 2021, I would say not so turnkey.
Yeah.
As of probably a year ago, yes, we have everything automated, and we have a very central platform. So everything is at your fingertips. It's divided into different travel styles so that you can tap into exactly what you need, and all of the instructions are very clear. Outside of that, I'm available for office hours on a weekly basis. We host monthly masterminds that I also host for travelpreneurs. And then we do have a networking hub where people ask questions. We monitor it on a daily basis, and we're dropping resources in there, on a weekly basis. So there's a lot of support outside of just the platform.
Awesome sauce. I love this. You're giving back technically, and helping communities and stuff. Now, on the YouTube channel and your Instagram channel, are you
Yeah.
talking about these things, educating people, and basically doing the freemium model where you're sharing the information and then getting people to engage?
Yeah, so on our Instagram, you'll see me doing a lot of selfie videos explaining what we're offering, any new trips, any new products that we're providing our members. If you check out our link in bio on YouTube or Instagram, you can actually check out our global hotel booking engine. You can even book a hotel stay yourself. But that link is an example of, we would provide you your own unique link, and you could then provide that to your network and earn commissions just from people booking through your link. And the discounts are amazing. You can see them for yourself.
Now, if people on board with you, do they can they just, I mean, I don't know if affiliate's the right word, but can they just use your links and just start marketing them and pushing them out?
Yeah, absolutely. If that's why we really are creating or looking to create the modern day travel agent, truly is somebody who's promoting travel on Instagram, on TikTok. They don't necessarily want to plan out your whole itinerary to check out Disney, right? But they are promoting travel, and they deserve the perks, which is earning commissions, getting travel perks for their own personal trips. And a lot of bloggers are disconnected with that side of the industry. So we're trying to bring that together.
There you go. And once again, folks, we're bringing the cruise to Aruba, the Chris Voss Show podcast cruise. No, I'm just kidding. People are like, I don't want to spend time with Chris Voss. He smells
I'll
bad.
plan that trip. No problem.
There you go. So can people in working with you, if they can figure out how to put together trips and stuff, can they bring that into the environment and utilize that if they're good at it?
Yeah, so a lot of our consultants kind of piece together their own packages or their own trips based on what their client wants. Like, we give them access to Viator for global tours. Then you can book a Marriott hotel. You can package whatever you want into the trip. It's just based on what they're looking for.
There you go. So you can get involved in all that. I have a best friend that does this, as I mentioned before, and she travels. One of the benefits is kind of the same as when we have authors on the shows.
Yeah.
I'll have some authors tell me, they'll be like, "Yeah, I wrote this book in Europe so that I could get the publisher to pay for the trip to Europe so I could do research."
There you go.
And I'm like, "Damn, why am I writing nonfiction? I should be writing fiction." And be like, yeah, I think my character's got to go to Hong Kong this week and spend like a year there. So I may have to go research that for a few months. Let's get that paid for. Which is another reason we're having the Chris Voss Show cruise in Catalina. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
It's a great callback joke. But my friend who's in the travel business, she like if she puts together a package, she goes and researches it. Make sure that the airline's the right and the hotel's good and stuff. So it's kind of like a dual benefit there. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, if you start driving revenue to, let's say, a hotel chain, to a booking channel, to a cruise line, you're going to be rewarded for that. They're going to want to offer you a free night. They're going to want to work with you more. They're going to give you perks and different promotions that won't be available to just anybody. So I think even tracking, what kind of travel you're promoting is just so important, because if you don't even have what you've accomplished, what you're promoting out there in terms of, room nights, reservations, then you can't really grow from it.
there you go. Hey guys, I'm putting my notice to quit. I'm going to go be doing travel because I don't get out with this job. Anyway.
Love it.
So give people your final thoughts as we go out. Tell them how they can onboard your pitch, ways they can handshake with you to find out more, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think if you just go to our Instagram page, Habitats by Cat, K-A-T is cat, not C, or go to our website, habitatsbycat.co. Schedule a consultation with me. We'll hop on a quick 15, 20-minute call. I'll help you understand exactly what we provide. And onboarding is really seamless. This shouldn't be an overwhelming onboarding process. It's not a massive investment. It's a really great way to just add a revenue stream, start a side hustle, and just start earning extra money, but also really enjoy doing it. We have a lot of people that join that help friends and family travel, and they don't even know that they can be earning money doing that. So it's just a great community to join. If you're a new entrepreneur, if you've never sold travel before, we don't have any requirements like that. No sales goals. It's really open.
There you go. And the beautiful part is you've already done you've done the lesson learning, the fails, the mistakes. You've learned that over the years and been able to put stuff into where it can be really what we like to call a turnkey business, I think.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I tell everybody that's joined knows that I started this business during a global pandemic, and I feel like I learned so much in that 1 year, and now I'm grateful for it, but it really helped me create the platform that we have today.
There you go. And this is important because I mean, you can go into business, people, and it takes you 2 to 3 years to work out the kinks and the noises and the bangs and stuff. And sometimes you don't succeed and you fail. I mean, that's what happens in 99% of businesses over the years,
Right.
is they fail. So the beautiful part about having a turnkey sort of thing that what Kat's doing for you entrepreneurs out there or wannabe entrepreneurs is you're getting a turnkey business where you can step into it. It has a successful business model. You're not having to recreate all that stuff. You're not having to make all the mistakes. It's just so much seamless. And I believe business models like this and studies and data show, franchising, et cetera, that these models work better successfully for people because they don't have to go through that gauntlet.
Yeah, and we have a couple team leaders, we call them, but they're people that have joined and they're now seeing success and they're having so much fun doing it, where they're now recruiting and building out their own teams under our umbrella. We let them customize all of their marketing content. So we don't put our branding on our members' branding. So they're really building out their own community within the platform that we've created. So exactly to your point.
That is awesome. That is awesome sauce. Well, thank you, Kat, for coming on the show. We really appreciate you. Give us your .coms as we go out.
Great. Habitatsbycat.co.
There you go. Thanks, Simonis, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on TikTokity, the LinkedIn newsletter, and the 130,000 LinkedIn group as well. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys